looking at you, kid.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
I'll have what she's having.
Boss will be with you, always.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
After a long hiatus, or long enough hiatus, we are back with another episode of Gone with the Wind. But right now, we're kind of waiting on something. What are we waiting on, Malcolm?
If only America will get the act together so the rest of the world can get movies again.
Yeah, this is Gone with the Wind. Cue the music. Hello, everybody. This is Manning, the host of Gone with the Wind, the show about award shows where we talk about, you guessed it, award shows. And I am definitely a little rusty on this because we haven't done this in quite a while, mostly because I'm about to ask y'all a question right over here. Has this new quote unquote normal that we're in during the COVID crisis, have we gotten used to it, or are we kind of feeling that fatigue in a way? Because I feel like our lives shifted very drastically in the past couple months. Just because, the first month it happened, we were very much kind of like, okay, we're fine. We're going to do this. It'll be fine. And as it goes on and on and on, it feels very much like, actually, I don't know what I'm saying. New Zealand's got it covered. You guys have got it going on over there, Malcolm. Oh yeah, by the way, Malcolm's here and Abe is here. Ryan cannot join us tonight. But Malcolm, tell us a little bit more. How have you been? What is your COVID story like going on? Because New Zealand is apparently like a staple of how we all should follow and how we all should apparently get rid of the virus.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with New Zealand, it's just one of those ones like we went into lockdown, like everything closed, and then we slowly sort of reopened it up, and like if it kind of like the only cases that we've got at the moment now are the ones from New Zealanders coming back into the country, and they're just in the isolation facilities that we've set up. So I mean. We never really had community transmission and all that. Most of our cases, the majority of our cases was from overseas visitors. So, I mean, once we closed the borders off, it was just a case of just waiting for them all to slowly die down.
So what I'm saying is, since you guys didn't have community spread, you guys stopped it fast before it got out of hand, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's the problem with living in America. It's quite populous, we'll say. You cut that, some things that might not go well. And we also have Abe over here who's sporting a very nice man bun over there in the back. Congratulations, Abe.
It's a ponytail.
It's
a ponytail.
A man ponytail. Well, he's sporting it really well. Abe, how has your COVID adventure been going, and how are you doing, sir, over in Mexico?
Good. My adventure has been the same of my life. The only difference is that I don't go to the movies and see my friends. That's the only difference in my life. Other than that, everything has gone pretty normal.
Hey, those are two big not things, though, to do.
Yeah, like
for us as individuals.
Like my Saturdays are like, well, I'm gonna read, I guess.
How is how is it? What is the case numbers in y'all's? Oh, I know y'all. Yeah. You're fine, Malcolm. You guys are doing really good. But how's Mexico doing, actually? I've not heard any stories yet. Comparison.
Terrible.
I
mean, I think it all depends where you go. Because, like, there's this thing about, like, there's these red spots, I guess, where, like, the pandemic has been going up. But there's these spots, like, where it has gone down. So I think the prediction is, like, by the end of October, like every single one will be out because it's a third world country, so a lot of people don't travel.
And what do you mean out? What do you mean it'll be out?
Like with being able like to return to normal.
Oh, okay.
Like open markets, like like
trying to go. Whatever phase you guys have, you'll have a reopening of some kind.
It's still phase 3, as they call it. I'm still not sure what it is, but it depends on your state of your city. Because right now, like where I'm at, is a 700,000, 700,000 people, and just like 1,000 active cases. So that's not a ton. Some of them 350 confirmed, but I know a ton of people that I'm pretty sure they got it and they didn't get tested, so probably there's a ton way more.
Yeah, no, that's probably for a fact. There's probably a lot more than we realize because again, asymptomatic asymptomatic people seem to be a thing. I do know of a couple people who have gotten COVID-19. And for those who are listening, because our listener base is primarily in the United States, and as Malcolm was saying, we definitely need to get our act together on multiple fronts. Because certain states, as you were saying, and like in Mexico, certain states are worse off than other ones. Like right now, where I live in North Carolina, it is definitely on the verge of being a hotspot. We are not a hotspot though. One area I remember, the Myrtle Beach area, is. However, Florida, of course, Florida. Why not? Florida. I mean, listen, I'm going to be surprised if Florida does something really amazing. Look, they opened Disney World, guys. Come on. That's just not good, right? That's just stupid. Who's telling that no one thinking about this, right?
Wait, so you're saying it's not safe to wait on lines and be all close together on people on rides?
No, it's Malcolm, I'm here to tell you, it is not okay to do that. I don't think this should happen. But you know what? They're doing it anyway. And then we have California. I don't know why I said that. California and Texas also. Arizona is another one. If you go up north, it's getting better. If you go down to the south and the west, it is not getting as better.
Yeah, because I think if I remember rightly, California briefly opened up their movie theaters and they had to close them all down again.
Yes. So that really ended, like their stay-at-home. I don't know if they have a stay-at-home order again or what they rolled back on, but
I think like LA County had it, but I'm in the border, so I know most people they don't have it. Like it's just some places, like the stores were open again, like the malls, like parts of the malls were open, and they had to close it like a month later because the cases were spiking again. So they just closed it like 2 weeks ago. They opened it like last week of May, and they closed it a month ago.
Yeah, as much as I sort of hate to say it, I kind of understand all the protests for Black Lives Matter and all that, but they didn't really do much to help the COVID case a lot.
No, I will add on to that. Gone with the Wind does support. We do believe Black Lives Matter here on this podcast, and that is something that we are strongly. I personally himself, we are all strongly supportive of, and we do believe protests needed to happen for there to be reform. That being said, there were also other protests going on. The reopen protests that were also very happening along those lines, who did take even less of precautions. And most protests that I've seen, especially now after that first week, they've been wearing masks. They've been trying to do little things along those lines. But from listening and consuming as much media as I can possible for this, the biggest transmission has been reopening and the commerce, people going about their day-to-day lives that they've found so far. I'm not saying that the COVID type of thing didn't happen, because we are currently facing, especially in America, as I've heard before, and as you've heard before, I'm not coining this term, but we are facing two different pandemics. That is racism, and that is also COVID in this situation. So it's two things at once that are kind of coming to a head. That is a tangent I wanted to confirm on the podcast again, because we do believe that Black Lives Matter. But anyway, yeah, that's happening right then. COVID's kind of like making everything incredibly crazy in this current world that we're in right now. Obviously speaking, there's a new norm. I mean, obviously, as Ryan said a long time ago, we are proper social distancing, being countries away in this point, and a sea in this case as well too. And look at the value of technology. I can wave over at Malcolm, and he can still see me. And he's waving back. But anyway, yeah, we have a couple of things to announce in a month or so that we have been off. And that is, guys, everything's been postponed again. Everything, even Tenet. Remember how we said Tenet was like, oh, you know what? If anything can come back, it's going to be Tenet. So, I'm not too surprised they pushed it back, but I know Christopher Nolan's probably not too excited the fact that Tenet was pushed back to August. What is I had it up for a second ago. Do you know what it is officially for August?
August the 12th.
August the 12th.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Because at the moment, I think the first big major release that's probably the first one that's looking to come out the gate is Unhinged, which is coming out at the end of July, maybe.
I was about to say if this continues. Oh shoot! Yeah.
Because,
Oh. Apparently, it's been released in Canada.
Unhinged.
July 1st. July 1st. Open July 1st in Canada.
I mean that doesn't surprise me because I think July 1st was the original release date that it was going to. I think it's one of those movies that's like I don't think it's going to be one of those ones that's going to do a lot of waves box office. We'll release it somewhere. Some places might want it.
Yeah, someone's gonna want it. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, I like that. Let's see it."
But the other thing with Tenet specifically is when they announced they were moving it to August the 12th, which is Wednesday. They also sort of said that they plan on sort of keeping it in theaters longer to help recoup the costs if it does come out when it's supposed at the moment when it's supposed to come out.
That's very true. So Tenet, I was not surprised that they pushed it back, honestly, merely because it was only a matter of time because the situation is not improving currently so far in America, and as you said, because Malcolm at the very beginning because a lot of films are based, production houses, companies are based in America. It's gonna be very hard to get some of that stuff out and rolling. Because I know they took precautions in United Kingdom where they're currently filming Jurassic World Dominion. However, I'm not sure how that looks everywhere else. What do you think about Tenet, the movie that was supposed to bring us all back together in the theaters? Abe, what do you think about that being pushed back to August 12th?
They did what they needed to do. That's the real thing. I know I read stories like that Christopher Nolan, I think you mentioned it, I just went to grab some water, sorry. Like he really wanted the movie, like the one to be that's opening back, and which is not happening. I think it's gonna happen, right? Like if it happens to open in a month from now, which I doubt it.
I mean, I think Tenet is one of those ones that's going to be coming out in theaters. I don't think we're ever going to see it on VOD.
I think like if I'm not mistaken, they have like it's gonna get really crowded. But like at the beginning of the first weekend of October, it's still open. Like for a big movie to open, if they push it all the way to October, I don't know. I'm not sure. But like that, Halloween just moved, so I think they needed what needed to do. Like it's not a rush. You can replace people's life for a movie. Would I be willing to risk my life for a movie considering I'm young? Maybe. But
thank you for being honest, Dave.
You have to protect. Yeah, you have to protect the people.
I was about to say, if it was just your life, but
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Abe will risk everyone's life to rush out to go see Unhinged in the theaters.
Oh yes, Unhinged. This podcast is brought to you by Unhinged.
Probably I would. Honestly, I really need to eat popcorn and nachos and a soda. Like I really need it in my system.
I was about to say, what if I literally just brought up the fact that Unhinged is officially our first sponsor, guys.
I would be happy with that.
I would be happy with that. He is, and with all his controversial past, he's still a great actor. All right, so that is that. Yeah, like I don't know why we're so, as this podcast, we are so fixated on Tenet being the one to come out. I guess Christopher Nolan, because he's himself is one. I want this one to be people when they come back to the theater. I want this the one they see. So now we're just kind of having all our hope and dreams upon this one because I don't know any other major release besides Unhinged, of course, obviously, will come out before it. Do we know if that to be the case?
No. I mean, I think because I'm looking at the schedule of movies that are due to come out in July and then the first part of August. There's nothing really major. Tenet's the first major that's planned to get some sort of release as of yet. Because I mean, there's stuff like which I think is stuff that's going to HBO Max anyway, like an American Pickle, the Broken Hearts Gallery. Stuff like that, but
the first movie that has listed a wide release, like this is from Box Office Mojo, is a movie called The Empty Man, which is a crime drama with Stephen Root, Joel Courtney, and two names I cannot pronounce, which is from 20th Century Fox. So that's the first,
Interesting.
August 7th. And there's the Broken Hearts Gallery, another a movie from Sony, Trump Card, which is a documentary, and those August 7th. But like they say they're white, but I mean they're not temples. So.
Yeah, I think when it comes to tentpole, I think Tenet is the first tentpole one that's sort of
Yes.
due to come out. And I think what they're doing with like Mulan, Tenet, and that is good. It's showing that they've got confidence that maybe America might get the act together by August, so they're only bumping it sort of little bits, unlike some who's are going all the way to next year.
That's true. I'm just hoping, praying and hoping that if we do manage to get this contained by the end of July or the beginning of August, which I'm being optimistic. I'm not sure that'll be the case, but even if we do start to open up, start to see a reopening of certain things, including movie theaters and along those lines, or production houses, or companies along, the larger or the more smaller mom and pop shops, anything along those lines. If Tenet's that first one, I'm just afraid of people going back in droves because they're going to have to implement social distancing measures to make sure this doesn't spike. Because you know what happened after we tried to open up too fast? This happened again.
Yeah.
Guys, I know Malcolm said it, but there's gonna be a moment they're still making money, but they're not gonna need that big cash input in there. I don't know. They open international, because if you see, I think the biggest market that's closed is probably Russia right now, but China is reopening, UK is reopening, Germany, France, those are the big markets. Oh well, Brazil and Mexico are two big markets too.
Yeah.
But they can, I don't know how much money will they make. I don't know, maybe 300. I mean, Tenet is $250 million movies. So
yeah.
But open it international, get the money, and then open it in America.
You want
me? The cycle,
I mean,
they
that's
usually do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I don't get is why not some of the companies release international, because it's not like you're going to not release them in America at all. But if you release them somewhere, you're going to start getting some return from your movie, and then once America is ready to have their movies open, then
yep.
I think they're afraid of piracy. That's maybe.
I mean, with something like Tenet, I can actually understand that, because I think that is something that Nolan's made clear, that he doesn't want spoilers of that to come out due to how mysterious that movie is.
I mean, we don't even know the name of John Washington's character at all. Literally, it's just, you go to Wikipedia or IMDb, it's just the protagonist. So I'm curious to see what that actually going to happen and how much he's actually keeping from us. All we know literally is the synopsis and that what the trailer has given us. And those who have actually seen the opening in IMAX, so when that appeared a while ago.
And it's going to be revealed that John David Washington's character is going to be called David Tennant.
That'd be interesting.
I think that's a possibility.
That is the only possibility at this point. I'm trying to think.
I mean,
movies.
Saying that, talking about movies, and what is some tangential thing, we're talking about movies forming and stuff. Well, a lot of companies are coming to New Zealand to film. We've got Avatar in New Zealand at the moment. We've got Cowboy Bebop, I think, is doing their live action thing here as well. But also, there's been a movie that's been forming in secret all through quarantine that no one knew about. And I think it's also starring John David Washington, if I'm correct, and Zendaya.
You are correct, sir.
Which is directed by
Zendaya. They filmed it in secret. He directed by the guy who is the creator of Euphoria, I believe. I don't know the correct.
Yeah.
Let me find his name, but apparently from what I know, she called him up and they're like, let's make a movie. They wrote a script out. They got it to they took the necessary precautions. Sam Levinson Levinson, that's the man's name. They took the
Yeah.
unnecessary precautions, just distance the cast from the crew, and only had certain people come in when necessary. And they created a movie. So, what's that movie? I don't know.
I think it's Mary and Max or something like that.
Mary and Max. I think that sounds about right because I couldn't remember for the life of me exactly what it was. Malcolm and Mary. Malcolm and Marie. Malcolm and Marie. Oh, wait. Okay, so just for clarification, in July 2020, it was announced Zendaya and John Javen Washington had joined the cast of the film, and Sam Levinson directing from a screenplay he wrote and finished in 6 days. The film was shot during COVID-19 pandemic, beginning on June 17th and finishing on July 2nd. That is a quick runtime. At the time, Zendaya and Levinson were both involved in the HBO show Euphoria, which had stopped production due to the pandemic. Shooting took place entirely at the Caterpillar House in Monterey County, California. The film followed local COVID-19 safety precautions, which included the entire cast and crew being quarantined during shooting, as well as 2 weeks before and after shooting, daily temperature checks, and increased sanitation measures, among other measures. Which brings me to the question, maybe less of a question, more of a statement. Guys, the future of film, at least for the time being, I think will be changing. The landscape is going to be changing, even if it's not done in America. As you said so yourself, if they're moving to New Zealand, if they're going to move to places like Australia, Tom Hanks was doing before all this, if they move to other countries, they're going to have to at this point if America keeps along these lines. They can't keep waiting around for that. They can't. The movie industry cannot survive upon that. And I think for better or for worse, this industry is going to shift. There, you will see the pendulum go in a different direction, or as we enter this new norm. And I think you're going to see a lot of people taking precautions at least until next year for movies and filming. Because if they're doing that with Dominion and they're doing it for a small project like this, that is indicative of what the current culture is.
How many people are like in a film crew? I don't know, 500 people from everything.
That
to everything
really
in a
depends.
day?
Yeah, I
Especially for
can't.
those
Like
movies, like,
yeah, I mean the film crew
the
can be
extras.
really large, but
you
I mean,
cannot,
yeah.
you cannot have people close like for 6 months. You know,
Yes.
like that's happening with sports. Like they're trying to figure it out how to do it. It's like, how am I gonna have, I don't know, in basketball, which is like I guess 20 people per team with coaches and everything. Like, how am I gonna keep them like a month away from their family? How now?
Yeah.
Tell me how you're gonna keep 500 people away from their family.
I mean, I think it's a case
ahead,
like
Malcolm.
the movie takes place.
yeah, I think it's a case of maybe like they're looking at like what scene can we film, like we can do that one and we'll need, and they can figure out sort of how little people that they'll need for specific filming scenes and like because I've with Jess World and stuff so I think Matrix has started filming as well but I think it's possible to do it as long as you just keep making sure you know who's on set at any one day and so if something does go south and someone gets COVID, you can work out like what they got COVID on this day, so find that call sheet like we had all these people on, we need to get them tested and stuff
Would
like
that be so costly though? Like the budgets of films would have to be a lot higher, and that's why I said stuff's going to be
Also, you have
changing.
to consider the insurance companies who will want to insurance like that thing, like in case somebody dies from it. There's a demand that's gonna happen. They're gonna be suing people. So I mean,
yeah
like they were able to shoot a movie because maybe how many people? Like it's a movie. You
I mean,
probably need 20
yeah.
people.
I mean, it was a really small crew, and I mean, it
Yes.
may not have, and it's just, I think it's just one of those ones like, they wanted something to do to sort of, get, so they're doing something, so they're not just sitting at home, watching their own movies over and over again. I'm just assuming that most actors watch their own movies, so I don't think that's what. But I mean, another thing which I found really interesting is is there was a YouTube channel that did an experiment, and they filmed a movie entirely on Zoom, released it in one theater, bought all
Yes.
the tickets, and they made it the number one movie for one day. And it's one of those, and I just found that really funny because I was watching the behind the scenes of how it came about. It's like they weren't sure it was going to happen. It's like as when they found out that they took out the Rhett for top spot on that one day. I just found it funny that happened. Like no one else has seen the movie. I think you can hire it on Vimeo or something now. But
Didn't that movie came out a couple of years ago and it was called Unfriended?
oh yeah, no, I think this movie called Unsubscribe is on that
Yep.
vein.
It is called
and-
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I only knew this because I watched the Try Guys, and one of the Try Guys is on there, and I was like, oh no way, I listened to their podcast, and I'm like, oh,
That's interesting.
yep, that's the
Well,
only reason I knew it.
I mean, they've done it like, of course, they film, they make like what's an the guy
Go ahead,
that
Abe, you
gets-
got this. You got it.
That his daughter gets kidnapped or well killed.
Liam Neeson?
Searching.
Oh,
No. Oh, searching. You know they have done the experiment that the movie.
Oh
movie
yes.
takes place like on a computer screen, and they actually put it off as a really great movie. But I mean, there has to be crew and everything like
Yeah.
really to be able to do that. But now they actually did experiment like we're at home right now. So let's.
yeah, I
let's
mean,
do it.
you know, this is one of those experiments that because the only people that saw this movie in the theater was the two people that wrote and made the movie. No one else saw it in the theater. They bought out the entire theater.
Yes.
And they submitted it, like they did everything themselves. Like they submitted like we made this much money to Box Office Mojo, whatever needed. Like so. I mean, if you haven't seen this, the story of how this came about, watch it. It is on my Facebook somewhere, but yeah, it's really entertaining. Just to because I mean, it's like I think they were told so many times that I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to work. It's like, but yeah,
I mean, it came out. I'm looking at it now. Apparently, there was a CBS This Morning video about it. So, good for them. Good for them for being able to make that happen.
yeah. Oh, exactly.
That's what we call inventive and ingenuitive. All right. So anyway, we're going to move right along to another big announcement of postponement stuff that is transpiring, and that is BAFTA and the Oscars. BAFTA and the Oscars have both pushed back to where they to completely new dates. The Oscars have officially been pushed back to April 25th, and the BAFTA has been pushed back to April 11th. So they've been postponed about roughly 2 months, respectively, from where they once were prior. So now we get into the idea of, will they push it back again, or will they cancel it altogether, or do you think we're good? Abe, what do you think is going to happen? To place your bets.
I think we're gonna be good.
You think so? Okay. I like the optimism.
Ways of what I've been reading from scientists is that probably a vaccine is gonna be early 2021, and what's early 2021? The first 3-4 months. So by the time that happens, well, they'll have a vaccine.
I'm
They'll probably
hoping.
have a vaccine by November, which I don't know.
Look at that optimism. I like it.
How
Yeah.
efficient it. No, it's not optimism. It's science. It always happens.
In November, you think so?
Yeah, because they happen with, well, of course, a different virus, but it happened with H1N1. They had it like by November, which is going to be distributed to the whole people. Probably not. But it's
No,
going to
that's
take
true.
some time by the time it happens. But I think they will be able to do the Oscars. It's going to be weird because I still don't understand. Like, will you have to submit your film like before December 31st to qualify, or will
That
you have
is.
to?
Well,
Can you choose
I-
which ceremony you're gonna be part of, like 2021 or 20?
It is the A feature film must now have a qualifying release date between January 1st and February 28th.
Okay, now my
So
question is, can you choose which Oscars do you want to participate on this year's or next year's?
I think
I don't think it can choose. I think if you push your release date outside of that like past February, then you'll be eligible for the 2022. But
I
yeah,
mean, of
like
course, like no Oscars movies get released like in February. It's just those weird like Silence of the Lambs, Get Out, like
I
those
mean,
without
although it's
titles. So,
but that's kind of what I'm about to bring up with all these movies sort of moving down. It's going to be one of those cases that, especially for next year's, there will be Oscar movies in February, in February potentially because a lot of people, especially the ones that you typically release the Oscar bait movies in the last part of the year, they're probably
yes.
going to be releasing it in February and January, which means they're probably going to get a lot of box office buzz as well because if you look at what American Sniper did, like they released wide released in January, they got a lot of money and got Oscar nominations for it.
Yeah, no,
but
yeah,
but they
go ahead,
were
Abe.
like limited release, which
Oh
now
yeah,
is
no,
a
yeah.
different thing. But that's my question. Like, can you let's say like you don't have a chance to get in the best actress race for whatever reason, you say I have a better chance for my movie to win next year because of the whatever
I,
type of the landslide that's happening.
Then
Can you
I
choose to go
think
next year?
I think that is where you don't choose. You make the tough choice to like, all right, we're gonna hold on to the film. We will not release it this year. We will hold it off until the next year. And that's the conversation I think the director, producer, whoever has to have with the actual production company and be like,
Like
we're gonna have to hold this back.
some of the narrative about Tenet is like Nolan didn't want it to move it till next year because I mean, tell me what other movie that has finished like that has this high-end director is that right now? Like he's gonna be the front runner without question. Like
I
well,
mean,
I mean,
what else is out?
I mean, the other thing is, but the risk you're going to have to take is if you release it in 2021, if you release it in the later part to make yourself ineligible for the Oscars for next year's, then you're putting yourself into a bit of a risk there because what if there's 5 other movies that are better than your one, and so you're going to miss out on any chance on Oscars altogether.
yeah, but most studios know what they have, like, and know what other studios have. Like the surprise, I think surprises in the industry are weird. Like you know what's coming out. Like I think there's the Moonlight, the Green Books. Like where does this come from? But like they start profiling pictures like since the early part of the year because they have to have their strategy to market them and everything. Like it's a business and
It is, which I will add on to what you're saying there, Abe, by saying the fact that that's why I truly believe when I mentioned prior that we're gonna have to do a complete shift about what we do, even if it's just for this year. They're gonna have to redefine what do we do for the Oscar, what do we have to do for campaigning? Because you're not guys, even if the COVID virus is like gone or dissipated, they're not gonna send people out in full on force. Those days where they're going to be sitting in the interviews and having people like what are those called again? Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Like press junkets. Those probably won't be the thing where they have to sit down every day for the next one because that just could be a hotspot for transmission if
also
possible.
you cannot have Oscar voters which their age I think it averages like I don't know 60. They're
Yeah,
probably gonna die if they get COVID. It sounds really bad.
I mean,
That's
no,
what's
the
gonna
percentage
happen.
isn't great. I will admit that they won't always die, but the percentage is also not great.
Yeah, and they're old people.
Yeah,
And
Malcolm, what were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, I was actually going to sort of go on a little bit of a tangent, but the other thing is with the delaying the Oscars to April now, and with the changing the eligibility rules to later, that's going to mean that for every future award ceremony, it's going to be from February 28th to February 28th. Was the eligibility rules will either have to stay there or for the 2022
Yeah,
Oscars, there's going to be a much smaller pool of movies because
there will.
if they change it, go back out the rules back to having to be released before December 31st. So
Which
that's
I gonna
gonna
be. Oh, go ahead, finish, Malcolm. My bad.
I pretty much finished. It's going to make that things even more awkward for future Oscars.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Bad
What I
Boys
think-
for Life for Best Picture. Now that we
No.
have 10 spots,
No.
Bad Boys for Life. Have you
No.
watched it? Have you watched it?
No, I don't
See?
want to watch it.
Then you cannot.
I
judge
didn't
it.
watch it. I watched
No,
Emma
you
instead.
cannot watch it. Oh my god, that movie is so boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick you off this podcast right now, sir. We've had this discussion again. We will not have it again. I will turn this car around right now, sir.
You should have seen Malcolm's face. He was like, I've never seen Malcolm so offended by my opinion.
It was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
I didn't tell you it was bad. I told you it was boring.
You did, and I still don't agree with you. We're moving on from that. But now I totally forgot what I was going to add to Malcolm's point. Oh yeah, no. I think I think they will go back to the quote unquote normal, but because we're also pushing movies back into next year, we're going to have like a movie every week. We will not have a dead zone. I don't think there will be no dumping ground. I think next year, which is good. Like they're going to wait to as I keep saying, I'm a broken record, and I apologize. Things are going to change these next couple years on how we do things, and whether we go back to the way they were before COVID-19, that is a possibility. But on that note, I do not know what's in store for the movie business as it goes as we go forward, because I know a lot of different things. Places are going to start to close. Movie theaters are going to close. Actually, what happened to AMC again? I need to double check. Do we know if they actually officially filed for bankruptcy?
As far as I know, they're still planning to reopen. I don't know if they've actually filed for bankruptcy, but yeah.
They were supposed to open this weekend, isn't it? And next weekend.
Well, I think their plans was that they're going to open up when Tenet opened up. So if their plan, so
That's power.
So which means that I think they're probably going. It's probably going to be opened on August the 12th, if anything.
Okay, here we go. Deadline reports about July 10th. Updated with details of restructuring. AMC Entertainment on Friday announced a sweeping reconstruction that will bring in $300 million in fresh coin, reduce debt by as much as $630 million, and lower cash interest expense by up to $200 million. The debt reconstructing agreement anticipated by deadline on Thursday will keep the chain running through spring, even in a worst-case scenario of all theaters being shuttered. A person familiar with the situation said, although the company is currently planning to reopen them July 30th. That is their official date for doing it. Let's see. Keep talking. I'm going to try to find any more details.
Which is the day before Unhinged comes out. So they're banking on Unhinged giving them money.
Oh, look at them. Russell Crowe. Good luck, sir. I'm trying to find any more information.
But anyway, to sort of continue talking about the Oscars, but with a different topic, which also sort of was released. The Academy have announced about 819 new Oscar voters that are joining the ranks this year, and they're definitely getting a big, diverse range here because I'll make sure I've got the numbers up, make sure I've got them correct. We've got about 45% of women in this new thing, and then 36% of them is underrepresented ethnic, racial communities, and we've got 49% from international 68 countries.
Yes. So
the fact we've got almost half amount of new women joining these ranks is just, and then almost 40% of people who like from black ethnicity.
Yes.
It definitely shows them moving in the making sure the Oscar voters are diverse.
Mm-hmm. And they are actually going in the right direction. I want to confirm. Yes, the numbers are correct. 36% of people of color, 45% women were the invitees, which is just as a reference point. In 2015, it was 8% of invitees were people of color, and 16% was 2018. So there has been literally there has been a ample portion amping up, and I think hopefully as some of the other members start to age out and leave, and this invitation of new diverse young filmmakers, hopefully this will provide the problem that we had for some years past when you had the year prior of when you had in 2017 you had was 2017, was that Moonlight?
Moonlight was released 2016.
2016. What won 2017? Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Shape of Water, and then you had Green Book, which is still a strange blip that doesn't seem to fit in 2010s. Quality of the movie aside, and then you had the year prior. Then you had Parasite, which is still a touchstone and still so good. Yeah, I think this is very. I'm happy on them, and I can't wait to see what this continues. What were you saying?
It's so long since Parasite won, and that
It
was
has.
5 months, 6 months. 6 months, almost 6 months. It's just crazy. I just feel like it's been 2 years since Parasite won, and it's just been everything has.
Listen, quarantine has felt like it's been years. Like we've been here forever. It's.
Have you watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
Not yet. No, I haven't. Do you know where I can find it actually besides just renting it? Is there is it streaming anywhere?
Hulu.
I don't have Hulu.
Do you have a Spotify?
I do, but dude, I don't think I tried. But I tried that before, and they were like, "Oh, hey, well, it's too bad your thing is expired to use this opportunity or something." Stupid.
But yeah, talking about Parasite, some of the new members include Jang Hee-jin and Jo Hyo-jong from Parasite. We've also got Yalitza Aparicio, Aquafina, Zazie Beetz, Brian Tyree Henry, Thomas and Mackenzie, which I think is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Zach Gottsigan from Peanut Butter Falcon.
Actors from Parasite, you had not even gonna try. I know Park So-dam, I know that, but other than that, I'm gonna try the rest.
Park So-dam is there as well. Ben Mendelsohn, which I thought was always there, apparently wasn't. Is now part of it.
I know, shocking.
Ben Mendelsohn was not a big actor before. He just broke out. He was an actor. He worked. He had movies. I've seen him in movies, but he didn't have that splash until he was cast in these big movies last couple of years.
But I'm still surprised it didn't happen sooner, type of thing, because a year after Rogue One or something.
He's so good in Captain Marvel. His character is amazing.
He has the best part. I will agree.
Yeah, I mean the aforementioned John David Washington and Zendaya are there as well.
Yes. Will that be? Do you think that will qualify? Possibly, depending on quality aside, it could be horrible, and they could, forgetting about this conversation. But do you think that Malcolm and Murray? Yeah.
It depends on how they planned on it to be released. If it's released in theaters for a limited time, then yeah, I think it will qualify for the Oscars when they decide to drop the movie. But yeah. And some of the new directors that we got joining has got Ari Aster. Probably the only notable one that I recognise in here. Matt Reeves is and Matthew Vaughn are both joining it as well.
Another shocker.
Matthew Vaughn is another one that I thought he was always there.
But apparently not. I guess they're just trying to get fresher, newer, younger faces. But do they have do you guys know if they have a limit to how many people they can invite in 1 year?
Probably not. I wouldn't think so.
They're getting close to 10,000 members. So.
Oh, I totally forgot. You mentioned this prior, Malcolm. Abe. Sorry, Abe. You mentioned this when you mentioned Bad Boys. The Oscars have gone to 10.
I told you.
I know, but I forgot to make that official announcement. That's why I said you mentioned it. I didn't. I was like, yeah, and I totally didn't realize we never even officially said it on this podcast. Because guys, the Oscars have officially gone to 10 films. No longer this ridiculous sliding scale. They're actually doing 10, and I am happy. Oh my goodness! Thank you. Woo!
I don't even know that they announced that.
I know.
It was
See,
going
that flew under the
straight-
radar.
Didn't we talk about that? I thought
Nope.
I talked about that with somebody.
We did
Well,
not
maybe
talk
I was
about it.
talking- Maybe I was talking to myself because I don't have no
Yeah.
to talk about.
And
I do that.
actually,
It's okay.
I mean, one of the cool ones is Cynthia Erivo has been invited to both the acting branch and the music branch in the same year.
Ooh. She can only pick one though, so which one
I
will
mean-
she choose?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones that I'm just going down the list. I skipped over a whole bunch of them. Bernie Taupin has been invited. Honestly, I'm not surprised.
I think the Academy should all be made out of cinephiles who are willing to watch all the movies, not necessarily actors, because I'm pretty sure not all our actors are cinephiles.
That's true. Well, hey, this year, you know what this means? They might have actually more time to actually watch the movies.
That's the important thing, because if they didn't watch, I was gonna mention that, I just sort of forgot. If they don't watch him when they had screeners, and they had the option to go to the theater to watch it, because they do those presentations
Yes.
and Q&As. Don't you think they won't watch it once they don't have to go to the theater? Like, that's where their only option, like, to force themselves to watch it. And all they
Because
have
it depends on, again, where we are in the next couple months. But they might just be like, well, I guess I can't go out tonight. Time to turn on whatever this is.
But yeah, with the new bunch of invited members, it's going to be interesting to see how the nominations sort of shape out
Yes.
from here on in.
Oh no, I think the next couple days, next couple years, we're going to see that shift to start to actually take place. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Now, we are coming to the end of our show, and we talked about everything we needed to talk about, guys. But before we close out, tell us, what has been your favorite thing you've watched so far in this past month that we have not been on? What is the thing you've watched over quarantine that you're like, yes, it can be a show, it can be a movie, it can be a video game, it can be whatever.
Well, I mean, it might be the same thing for all of us, really. But which is going to lead to there's been another big discussion about this as well. Hamilton is probably my favorite thing I've watched.
Oh mine. Hamilton, no, the do in French and the do different fluent in French. I mean,
this is something that I've heard so much about. I intentionally avoided listening to songs that I
really.
As I said to people, it's like, I don't want to listen to the songs. I want to watch the musical as it's intended on stage for the first time.
Right, strong man.
And it's been, I've heard bits and pieces of the songs. Like, obviously, there's no way to completely avoid them. But it's like, and now that I've seen it sort of all as it's essentially attended, it's really great. It even though it's a film but not a film, it's my number one movie of this year at the moment. It went past Emma.
First off, great. We have another great number one in Emma. Fantastic. I know Abe disagrees, but that's okay. Abe, so what if actually no? Since we're talking about Hamilton, I'm gonna go talk about Hamilton for a second. I'm not as strong as you. You haven't watched it?
No, I don't have Disney Plus in Mexico.
Oh.
Unless you want me to piracy?
No, we do. Again, we are anti-piracy. We do not condone that on Gone with the Wind.
That's why I don't do it.
There you go. It's good, sir. Would you have Verizon?
What?
Because Verizon gives it to you for free if you have Verizon.
Oh no, but still the IP won't, unless I want to. Well, I can use American
it's
data.
only in America?
Yes. Disney
No,
Plus,
because
yes.
Disney Plus isn't only in America.
Disney Plus is in New
It's
Zealand.
not in Mexico. Oh yeah, but it's not in Mexico.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like I can use my phone data, like from the American phone, and use it, but that's way too much data that I don't want to spend on watching a. I'm telling you the truth. You don't have to look it up. It's gonna.
I've never. I believe you. I just need. I want to know the explanation why. We didn't do that.
because
the
because I
servers,
think
like,
it's one of those. It's one of those ones. It's only just been like Disney Plus have got released in the UK in April, which is
also
why I'm
'cause,
surprised that Mexico does not have it.
no, but it's also because of the rights. Because right now I still can see like Marvel movies on Netflix and stuff like that. So I guess
Huh.
that's why, because they want to show like the whole package instead of you showing me bits and pieces. Because in Amazon Prime, like Mexican Amazon Prime, still has like some Disney films and stuff. So
Interesting.
I think it's the right thing. Because once,
Yeah,
because you see the calendar, once like they got rid of like anything on Disney on Netflix, they were able to open. So I guess that comes to the market, and also they need to
Yeah.
prove the service and servers and everything to hold how many million people are watching at the moment. So I think it's a market thing. It's not like
I mean it's interesting because I mean I'd have to actually check there, but I don't want to at the moment. But I think there's still a couple of things which we've got on Netflix which uh still on Disney Plus over here, but anyway, in relation to Hamilton, it's going to be an interesting thing when it comes Oscars season because there's that debate on whether it's eligible for Oscars or not. Because apparently it's not eligible for the best documentary Oscar.
'Cause
But
it's not original, yeah.
I mean, I I wouldn't think they'll be eligible for the acting ones because they weren't acting in it.
once
But
I think
like years ago when Hamilton came out.
it was filmed in
Sorry, Mark.
2016. However, because it was released in this year, it would technically count. However, because it is a film stage
Oh
production,
no, but sorry, I just haven't. They were doing a Hamilton movie, isn't it? They were.
they also are doing it.
yeah, um, I mean, one category I think it could be nominated in if they decide to submit it is editing because the stage production is actually 3 different shows edited into one. Um,
Oh, is it?
it is, yeah. I found this out recently. It's one that I did it. You wouldn't think just watching it, but reading up about it's like because it's the 3 shows edited into one. I think that should make it eligible. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be original song or something like that, just because it was done way before the show. So
Yeah. Well, anyway, I love Hamilton just because of the fact of like I was not as strong, and I definitely was like all in on listening to the soundtrack and actually witnessing it in person, watching it on my TV out over here. I was in love with it. I love it so much. It actually inspired me. Y'all can't see this. I'm boring like this. I picked up the Federalist Papers by Hamilton because I wanted to hear exactly what he wrote. Because, why not? Yep, that's me. That's me, guys. Mr. Fun. Right over here.
I'm reading. What I'm reading right now.
What are you reading?
1001 Nights, I think it's called in English. I don't know how it's called.
Oh, it is the 1001 Nights. That is correct.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm reading that. I've never read it before. My only introduction to that was the Looney Tunes episodes based on that. So
I forgot about that Looney Tunes episode. Bugs dresses up,
cool.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. He dresses up and goes tell stories to the kid of the
I love it.
I don't know how you call it. Yeah.
Any movies you saw? Anything you want to highlight?
I haven't watched it. The thing that most
Nothing?
I watched Eurovision Song Contest, the story of the fireside.
Oh, how was that?
I mean,
Oh.
it was stupid. But I like it. I was entertained for 2 hours. Like Rachel McAdams, like I will give her best actress right now. No, I'm just kidding. That will be Elizabeth Moss for The Invisible Woman. But like, I think that was just dumb thing. Like it's real fun. It reminded me of Blades of Glory. Have you watched that movie? I love the movie.
But it's
But, like,
a long time ago.
Yeah, but it reminded like that kind of story, and I kind of cried because I always cry with underdog stories. So
I mean, I can't remember the last Will film movie I actually liked. I mean, Eurovision I thought was definitely better than Holmes and Watts. And that's a really low bar
the
to
thing is
pass.
that Will Ferrell, like, he hasn't have a hit since Like a good movie scene's what? I
Yeah,
think
I think with
Great
Eurovision,
question.
I think with Eurovision, it didn't know whether it was supposed to be a drama or a comedy. I think if it had stuck to one of those lanes, because if it's supposed to be a dramedy, it wasn't overly dramatic, but it also wasn't really that funny, so it kind of missed the mark on
yeah,
both ends.
and also Netflix kind of gives the creators whatever like he wants, and they make the movies really long. This was 2 hours, and you don't kind. I mean, you felt it, but like this story can be a little bit tighter and will move faster, and you actually also Will Ferrell. I'm sorry, but like he has, as I said, he hasn't hit it in a while. I think the last movie I liked from him was the Anchorman 2, The Legend of the Legend Continues, which I know most people don't like, but that's I think Rachel McAdams just kills him in the movie. Like she's right here, like well, he's really tall, like he's whatever, and
Yes,
he's like low right here, like in the acting. Like she eats him alive. Like she wins the scenes every time. Also,
I
Dan
believe that.
Stevens is in the movie. He's really funny.
Yes,
He's great.
I love
Like
Dan
he's this
Stevens.
Russian singer. Which actually, he was probably the best part. Like the interaction he has with Rachel McAdams. That's probably the best
Okay.
part of the movie.
Well, now we know. If you guys want to watch something dumb, in mine, there's his passport that we can't see because it's completely blurry. Oh no, there it was. It's washed out. Anyway, so hey, Malcolm, where can they find you?
You can find me on Tape 3 Productions, where I host Late Night Take 3. We haven't been on for a while, but we are back this Saturday with the topic of Tom Hanks, and then on Saturday we do Rankum, and this week's Rankum episode is going to be on top 12 war movies. And I'm over on the Full Metal channel where I host Full Metal Classic and Full Metal Random. And also on Take 3 I'm doing a Broadway bracket throughout however long it goes. Each day we'll have a new match up there. The one that's up there at the moment is Rent versus Contact. So, yes.
And Abe, where can they find you, sir?
I'm thinking what the best war movie of all time. And I think we can make an argument for Doctor Strangelove.
Ooh, that's
personal
good.
favorite has to be The Bridge on the River Kwai, because that movie's amazing, especially the first 90 minutes. Manning hasn't seen it or doesn't like it.
No.
right.
I'm thinking now.
I think Pattern. I think that movie is just like George C. Scott in that film. He just it's the screen.
I never finished Patton. That 4-hour long movie.
The Deer Hunter, also great. I mean, I'm going Oscar winners, but still all great movies. The Green Beret, not that good. Whatever. You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25, and you can follow me on Instagram at AbrahamFlores25. And please, for this has worked because I haven't gotten any requests like in the last year. Do not add me on Facebook if I don't know you. I don't care about your life, and you shouldn't care about mine either.
Wise words from a wise man. You can find me on Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN. And you see the little subscribe button at Abe's point. Wait, you can't see it. This is. No. I just realized you can't see anything. Yeah, he's pointing at the subscribe button. So subscribe rate us on Apple and iTunes. Wait, iTunes isn't a thing. Apple Podcast. There you go. All right. Thank you guys for the first episode back. No, thank you. Thank you for listening. Man, I've been gone too long. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Gone with the Wind. Cue the music.